In this video, I'm going to use Inspect3D to calculate a metric, and then I'm going to load that metric into Inspect3D, look at it, and then export that data to a separate text file. So the first thing is I have a database that has multiple CMZs inside of it. So each subject has its own CMZ file. And inside of that, I also have this script to calculate the segment length. So it's really just copying the left thigh length from the model and storing it locally in each C3D file. So first thing to do is open Inspect3D, and then we're going to set the path to that directory that we just looked at. So if I see inspect, I have this sample leg length, and this has all of my folders in here. Select that, and then hit load. At this time, I'm not going to actually load any data or look at anything. I'm just going to run that pipeline that I just looked at. So I'm going to run an external script. I'm going to run it on all the queried data. So I just hit browse, and I can load that V3S file I was just looking at. And Inspect3D underneath the covers is going to do open each CMZ in the workspace, do a select active file, all files, and then run this script. So here I can just hit update CMOs, and it's going to loop through each CMO in that directory. Once Inspect3D has finished updating all of the CMZs in the workspace, it'll hit OK, you'll hit OK, and it'll load the library again. So now we can actually load that data. So I'm going to go to Group Definitions, and I'm going to manually create a group, and I'm going to call this L thigh length and hit apply. And I'm going to define the subgroup. I'm just going to call this LTH, and I'm going to reference that metric that I just calculated. So metric, seg length, left thigh, and hit save. So calculate all groups. It'll pull that out from the database. And if I highlight all these, I'll have one metric for each C3D in each workspace. But if I plot just the workspace mean, that'll be the average, that's the actual thigh length for each file, for each workspace in my library. So now I can go to text, and I can actually select the workspace means for all the selected data that I'm looking at. And if I hit generate preview, I can see the metric. So this is what the exported text file would look like. So now I can hit browse and select where I want to save the file and hit export.